everyone, and welcome to another beautiful day. It's good to be alive. Continue to like, watch, share, comment, and if you haven't yet done so, kindly subscribe to my channel. Today's talk again will be targeting young girls between the ages of 20 and 30. Most of my relationship talk is directed at them, and sometimes our young men too, but my core target are young ladies between the ages of 20 and 30 with regard particularly to relationships. Today I'll be talking about disingenuous men. You see, there comes that point in your life when you know that you're ready to settle down. The truth is, as much as they say marriage is going out of relevance, it no longer means so much, it's just a piece of paper, and so on and so forth. Majority of the population, particularly women who live in this part of the world, are interested in getting married. And usually, many want to be married before the age of 30, which is wise anyway. You have youth on your side, you have the energy, and there's so much working for you if you get married young. Now, that is not always what happens, of course. It's not something that you can sit down and dictate when it will happen to you, but I think that most young ladies would love something like that. They would want that to have happened to them within that time frame. You're done with school, maybe you have a means of livelihood or you're working. So the next step for most young ladies is wanting to be married. And this is where many young girls begin to get things wrong. You'll find that for many young ladies who find themselves or who are at this point in life, you begin to take unnecessary risks. You begin to plunge yourself into things that you ordinarily should not, in a bid to show how devoted you are, how committed you are to the process. And you begin to make a lot of mistakes, and you begin to put your mental health at risk. Your mental and sexual health at risk. Let me explain where I'm going. When you are at that point in your life where you want to be married, the first thing is to also look for somebody who also has that mindset. Don't take anything for granted. Do not assume anything at this point. Do not assume that because he's 33 or 34, because he has a job, because he has also finished school, he's automatically at a place in his life where he wants to be married to. Ask. Ask. Which is why I don't subscribe to this whole thing of young ladies proposing marriage. Don't propose marriage. There's no need for that. That's the role of the man. Don't propose marriage. If he says no, you'll literally feel like killing yourself. Don't propose marriage. But by all means, let a man know that that is where your mind is at. And the best time to do this is as early on in the relationship as possible. I would say by the second, third date, by all means do some underground research, some background research on the dude. But by the second, third date, and I'm hoping that you did not come into the relationship with your legs spread open first. That always puts you at a disadvantage. Make an attempt to get to know the kind of person you're hanging with first. Hang out, gist a lot, go places, visit his friends with him, go out, see him in the company of other people, interact with him when both of you are alone together. Try your best to get to know him at least to a certain degree. As you're spending more time with this person, you'll begin to understand if this is the kind of person you think you would like to have in your life on a permanent basis. And if the vibe you're getting is positive, if you're feeling it in your soul that this is somebody that you would like to have a permanent commitment with, you can just straight up ask. I'm at that place in my life where I want to be married. I don't know about you. I'm not saying we should get married right now, but I am saying that if this relationship works out, and we're both feeling each other like that, I need you to understand that that's where my mind is at. But I thought I should ask you, because sometimes it could be that you're not ready. If you're lucky and you happen to be dating somebody who has a conscience and who is willing to be truthful, he can come out and say, yeah, marriage is certainly something that I want, but not like maybe in the next 1 year, not even in the next 2 years, because of this, that, and the other. I'm not yet done with my education. I want to further my education some more. In fact, I aim to get a PhD. I have 1 or 2 investments that I want to grow to a certain level, because there's a kind of, there's a certain quality of life I want to live when I'm married, and I know that marriage is capital intensive. So these are my short and long-term plans, which is why I would not want to be married immediately, because whatever, sha. Or he could be like, yeah, sure, why not? I'm already at a place in my life where I'm comfortable enough to think about marriage. So let's do this. You understand? Get that out of the way so that you know the nature of the relationship you're having. You could also be unlucky enough that you put all your cards on the table by asking this question. And the person knows that, yes, he wants to be married, but not to you. So he's like, yeah, certainly, I'd love to be married within a year or 2. But then he doesn't tell you that you actually don't fit the spec for who his dream wife is. You know, and then you get comfortable. The whole my wife, you know, his friends, oh, our wife, he starts taking you to the family house. And nowadays, I don't know why parents are willing to be part of that charade. You know fully that if your son is bringing a girl home, her hopes are raised because she has met the parents. So that in many relationships, that's a big step. But you will not say anything to your sons, and mothers are particularly guilty of this. You won't say anything to your sons. So today he'll bring home Angelina, tomorrow he'll bring home Mary, the day after that it's Rosemary, and so on and so forth. Every girl that comes, our wife, you will get cozy with her and everything. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Anyway, I think I've digressed. So, you know, they put you into the whole our wife thing. And then 6 months later, he comes to you with, well, you see, the truth is, you know, I'm the first son in our family. And usually in our family, firstborns don't marry outside our ethnic group. The minute he tells you something like that, he's no longer interested in the relationship. He already knew you were not of his ethnic group when he wasted your life for 6 months. You see, there's a certain stage you get to in life where each day that is not productive is wasted. He already knew you were not of his ethnic group. Why did he stick around? Why did he even ask you out in the first place? Because he said he's already at that place where he wants to be married. So if he wants to be married, what's his business? And he wants to be married from only girls of his ethnic group. Why is he still toasting girls that are not in his ethnic group? Or they come to you with, you know, my mom said, oh, you know, I listened to my older brother. He's the person that paid my school fees, and he said, once they start pointing fingers at other people and talking about what those people said with regard to your relationship, it's a red flag. Leave. Don't stick around. It's him. He's the one that doesn't want. But he's too much of a coward to come straight out and tell you, I'm sorry, we've been dating for a while and I don't know. I'm just not, I'm not ready to be in a relationship at the moment. It's not because of anything you did. In fact, you're a good person, but I really just don't want to be in a relationship with you right now. Or I've met somebody who I really vibe with. I don't want to have two women in my life. Many of them will not say this to you. So one strategy is to start telling you things about the ethnic group and culture. That's one. Another one, they'll start pointing fingers at people within their immediate, their closest people. Their mother, their father, brothers, sisters, how those ones don't like you for one reason or another. All that one, wash. The third strategy is to start telling you things about your shortcomings. It's either you're not friendly enough, or the other day his friends came around and you were so friendly that it looked as if you were flirting with all of them. They begin to pick holes in your... First of all, nobody is perfect. But there's a way somebody will point out what you're doing wrong, and you'll know that this person is raising this thing so that it will be resolved and both of you can still, can have an even stronger bond. And, you also know where the person is just raising these issues because they're desperately trying to find fault with you so that they can leave. For instance, somebody begins to tell you things about how you should just tone your skin a little bit now. You just tone. He didn't see your skin when he was toasting you. Or 1-2 years into the relationship, all of a sudden he wants you to gain weight because you are too skinny. How? Your hair. Why are you always wearing... I like girls that have natural hair. Meanwhile, the day he was toasting you, you were wearing your bone straight. He saw it. It wasn't natural hair you carried that day. Yet he still toasted you and started. When he starts nitpicking at things that have always been part of your personality, and he even seemed to like initially, all of a sudden it's an issue with him. Another red flag. Red flag number 4. He just starts treating you very badly. Very, very badly. He is rude. He talks down to you. He will denigrate you in front of his friends. If he was calling you 3-4 times a day before, now it's a miracle if he calls you twice a week. And you sit and you're beating yourself up. You're wondering what you've done. 9 out of 10 times you haven't done anything wrong. He has lost interest, or he has met another girl that he feels he enjoys her company more, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with you anymore. But he cannot... In all honesty, some conversations are difficult to have because where do you start? This person has not hurt you. She's not a bad person. She still looks good. It's just that at some point, maybe you got bored or you lost interest and you don't know how to say it. So for quite a number of them, they'll just start treating you really badly. They tell you they're coming over and then they don't show up. And this becomes consistent. They don't show up. There's no reason why they didn't show up. No excuse, no apology. You try reaching them that day and throughout you can't. That particular stone kills 2 birds anyway, because for some, it's a strategy. Once you know that he's supposed to drop in, you're going to stay at home and wait for him now. So at least that helps him to know where you are. You are at home waiting for him. And that gives him a reason to... It gives him free rein to carry another babe and, feel free around town, knowing fully that the chances of bumping into you somewhere are slim to 0. So as you're preparing, to be married, look out for these red flags. Look out for these red flags. Do not bring physical intimacy into the relationship too soon. Keep that as far away from the relationship as possible. Delay that for as long as you can. Get to know this person as well as you can first if you want something serious. There are a lot of girls out there whose mindset is just to play. I'm not condemning them or anything. I'm just saying that if that is not where your mind is at, then please do not try to use that as a means of keeping a guy around. And even where it happens to be something that you've introduced into the relationship, don't let it be something that came into the relationship very, very early. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about giving yourself enough time to gauge this person and know whether this is somebody you want in your life. Stop leaving the decision completely to guys. You should also be able to spot flaws in Henry or Paul and be like, the guy is like this, like this, like this. There's this trait in him that I don't like, and be able to move. Don't always be the one that gets dumped. Study him. As he's studying you, study him too. Have things in your mind that will be deal breakers. For instance, this is somebody who claims he loves you, he likes you a lot and everything and all this and all this. And he's toasting all your friends. So, you should also be that. What don't allow only you, as men are looking for wife material, you'd be looking for husband material. There are certain traits that you should see in a guy, and there will be red flags, and you'll decide that no, I will not stick around for the nonsense.